Well, hello there, you bunch of redneck hillbillies. Of course, Jay, no offense. It's
Hey,
your
hey, hey,
favorite.
hey, 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 fuck you.
Hey,
I resent that. Those guys are not hillbillies, okay? They're city slickers. If you want hillbillies, you come to where I live.
Mm, mm.
They're not hillbillies. Don't be nice to them. Rednecks, yes. Hillbillies, no.
Hillbillies, no, too low there. All right, well, it's your favorite time of week, and no, it's not Sunday night when the new Walking Dead episode is on, though that's a close second. But rather, it's time for yet another critically acclaimed episode of the Red Zone Warriors Smackdown, where Jay and I recap the previous week's domination by the Nomad Division, and then preview the Woodshed beatdown. The Vagina Division will have to endure yet again in the upcoming week, so let's get right to it. You know, Jay, I got cute last week, and I played Palmer in what was a better matchup on paper when I should have played your boy, your man crush, Matty Stafford, and then Palmer tore his ACL to boot midway through. Well, you know, that poor coaching decision on my part was not enough to derail my championship-bound team. No, it wasn't. Jay, I didn't even wait until the Packers-Bear game was over to overnight Jordy Nelson's fruit basket. No, I didn't. In fact, the moment he scored that first of two long bomb touchdowns, I went ahead and sent it out just to show my everlasting appreciation for what ended up being a whopping 39.2 points. Yes, roster baiting as we speak. I love you, Jordy Nelson. I love you. That's it. I'm not afraid to say it. Now, Jay, this was the worst possible week thus far for your studs, Forte and Brown, to have their collective worst weeks of the season when playing the champ. In fact, this is a flashback of last year's championship performance, actually, out of Forte. I mean, the 11.1 points put up by Forte and the 15.4 put up by Brown, which, you know, would be the best performances on teams the likes of the Champion or AJ Unchained, but not for you, my Nomad brother. Not for you.
Look, I got a couple questions for you. A couple small questions. What the fuck are you putting in these fruit baskets? HGH, crystal meth, cocaine, some new kind of steroid? I don't know. It just whatever it is, it's working, man. All right. But and my last question for you is knock knock.
Who's there, Jay?
Fuck off, Rob. Fuck off.
I thought that might be coming.
Yeah. Listen. All right, leave it to AJ Unchained, the bottom dweller in the lowly vagina division, to start Andy Dalton when he put up the worst quarterback numbers in the past 50 plus years.
Oh, easy, yeah.
I mean, dude, good God all fucking mighty. And he posts a whopping negative .9.
Ouch.
Dude, Brad, I'm sorry, dude. I almost feel bad even mentioning this in the Smack Talk video because he's already got to be hurting, right? Right here, I feel it for you, man. I feel it for you. You know, because of course fucked your team's namesake, AJ Green. He only got, what, 5.3 points? It's a rough start on a Thursday night, Rob. Rough start. Listen, when Anquan Bolden in your defense are your highest fucking pointers of the week, you know things are bad. You know things aren't going to go your way. Now, on the flip side, the Jimmer, our Nomad brethren, you know, he got it done with his wide receiver quadruplets. Calvin, Emmanuel, Calvin Benjamin, and Mike Evans, combining for 96 points between the four of them.
Damn.
Now that right there is some production out of your wide receivers. Now, Jim, we know you can't spell elite without Flacco, but seriously, dude, that was it? That was your best option this week?
Moving on. Jay, this just in. The Champion lost.
No.
I mean, really? How is that news? I mean, Jay, this is as expected as it is for the Hamburglar to eat second breakfast. So that's saying something. Yes, the champion lost to Dave, a.k.a. Clark Griswold, this week to the tune of 103.4 to 140.5, as expected. I mean, Dave won when he barely even looks at his team. I mean, why would he when he's got the, Belgian castles and Swiss Alps to focus on, not to mention all the Italian boobies at the nudie beaches he has to stare at? Welcome to 1-9, Raj. Welcome, welcome.
Robbie Gould in the fifth. His fall from rookie grace, or more likely rookie beginner's luck, pity. I don't know. Listen, the fall from grace, it continues as we predicted, with a 109.9 to a 181.6 loss to the Pink Sparklers, who got a huge week from Beast Mode. Good God, Deldre. Hey, man, I got to give it to you. I was saying that Marshawn's getting old, getting too many carries. Obviously, this dude is like, fuck it, me and my Skittles are going to see in the end zone, motherfuckers. So he clearly ate a whole bunch of those Skittles before this game, scored 4 touchdowns and 41.3 points. Deldre also played the only Steelers on the team to do anything against the Jets last week. Martavis Bryant put up 30.3 points in his garbage time. Now, 6-4. 6-4. Who knows, Dre? Keep this up. Maybe we'll upgrade you to purple Roman candle.
Maybe.
Hey, I'm just saying, dude. Marshawn Lynch is pretty damn impressive.
Oh, he's clearly my Achilles heel. Every time I play him, I lose. So just get to the championship, Deldre. We'll see what happens. My year's over saw a resurgence this week, putting up the most points he has all season by a long shot, hanging a $191.8 on the Hamburglar this past week, which just warms my heart, as I'm sure it does yours.
Oh, yes.
Now, Scott, even though you put up a decent number of 160.1, helped out by the likes of Aaron Rodgers putting up 45.8 on the shitty Bears. Well, no offense, Eric.
No offense. Fuck that. Fuck the Bears. Bear down, bitch.
Coming clearly from a Lions fan. He also had a 37.8 points showing by Dez Bryant on the lowly Jags across the pond in England, but you couldn't overcome the zero you got from Andrew Hawkins on Thursday night. I mean, really? He was an inactive for the game, man, which this just in, if he's inactive, that means he's not going to play. That's what that means. He's not going to get on the field, which means a 0 is what you're going to get by having him in your lineup. Seriously, wow. Surprised he's even rostered, much less played him. Dear God. Scott, you might want to take a listen to the Red Zone Warriors Fantasy Football Podcast, coming out typically on Wednesday mornings, so you don't make such piss-poor, uninformed coaching decisions moving forward. Maybe we'll even send you a free T-shirt if you play your cards right.
Dude, you can't promise it. We don't have T-shirts in Free Willy size.
That is true. I take that all back. All right, moving on to this week's matchups. And, of course, the champ gets to go first and discuss my matchup against the surging second-to-last place team in the Vagina Division, my year's over team, which should really think about changing his name to something more New Orleans Saints related as he starts, Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, and my castaway Brandon Cooks in his lineup each and every week. But no matter, the champ will chew him up and spit him out, as the champ has done the previous 7 opponents in a row, just as the predictions have already told us was going to happen by proclaiming me the eventual victor with ease, with over 20.2, 22 points respectively as a cushion.
20.2, 22, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a win,
It's a
baby.
win. All right. Well, Hamburglar, we meet again. You know, and while I'm sure you think you're going to get another easy win this week, let me start off by reminding you I'm not Eric, bro. I'm not Eric. I'm not the rookie. I'm not Robbie Gould V. You're coming to see the Rock Pile, my friend. And you're not going to roll over us like you did him. Now let me lay this out for you, bud. All right? When my boys get done with you, and I'm talking about Forte, Brown, Ingram, Bradshaw, and that's right, your own Atlanta Falcon, Roddy White. I'm going to kick you right in the balls there, Scotty, and steal all your fucking hamburgers. That's what's going to happen. He's going to take your hamburgers. He's going to bring them to me. And when they get done with you, you're going to do what you always do when you get your ass whooped. But don't worry, man. It's okay. It's okay. Relax. We will make sure that your wife knows that you're safe and that she knows where you're at, safe and sound, down at the Excalibur buffet, drowning your sorrows in a big bucket of pork lard and onions.
Hi. Wow. Brutal, as they say. You know, even with DeMarco Murray on bye this week, Jay, we don't have to be Nostradamus and his sidekick to predict that the Whore Island ladies will yet again jiggle their beautiful titties in victory this week as the Jimmer plays the rookie Robbie Gould V. I mean, Jay, what is the gold standard gonna do without the likes of the Great White Hope, Toby Gerhart, in his lineup this week to secure Eric his weekly 5.86 points? What is he gonna do? I ask you.
Maybe score 3.86 points.
Yeah, or maybe score 0. He's on bye. So I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I mean, granted, the Jimmer, who won't have access to Joe Flacco this week, who's also on bye, basically makes that 5.86 points essentially a wash.
Absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely, man. All right, well. Pink Sparkler. Yep, that's still your name. You get Clark Griswold this week. And what's shaping up to look like a pretty good matchup here, to be honest with you. You know, we'll see. Listen, if Cruise Control can tear himself away from these Italian nudie beaches for long enough to get last week's bye players into his lineup, take out guys that might be on bye this week. Dave. Come on, bud. Get on the computer. It takes 5 minutes, bro. 5 minutes. And I know the nudie beaches and the castles are awesome. Just beat Deladre.
Well, and he's also having all that newlywed sex, you know?
Well, the newlywed sex is probably taking up quite a bit of time, too. I will agree with you there. You know, Rob, this one may come down to whether or not Arian Foster plays and whether or not he's productive. And now we do know, however, that the Sparklers pick up maybe more like a hope and a prayer of Adrian, I beat my kids Peterson. It's definitely not playing this week. And then again, if Beast Mode can drop 40 plus, he may not need him. He just may not need him.
Yeah, he very well may not. We shall see. Lastly, we have what can only be described as, well, more synonymous to maybe a spelling bee competition than a fantasy football matchup. When we have the two bottom dwellers of both the Nomad and Vagina division, AJ Unchained and the Champion, trying to paper, rock, scissor each other into submission in a first player to 47-point wins type of contest. Good luck, ladies. Play for pride. Play for pride.
Spelling bee would be more interesting than that.
It really would. You know, I'd like to take a quick moment to go over the standings, given that we have only 3 regular season weeks left. I, the People's Champion,
Boo!
am of course atop the Nomad division at a stellar 9-1, all but locked into first place and a first round playoff bye.
Boo.
Jay and Jim are tied in record at 6-4 and are only separated by 8 points, fighting each other for the second place standing and automatic playoff bid, followed by Dave at 4-6 and the champion bringing up the rear as he does on an annual basis at a stellar 1-9.
He is consistent.
Gotta give him that. You know, as for the lowly vagina division, it's much closer, actually, with the Hamburglar and the Pink Sparkler both tied at 6-4, with Scott having the total point tiebreaker, but only by a mere 29 points, with 3 weeks to go. Next up, we have Robbie Goat on the 5th at 5-5 and falling fast. Yes, falling super fast.
Plummeting is more like the word I would use.
That is more apropos. But with my years over at 4-6, but with more points than Eric, followed by AJ Unchained at 3-7, but AJ Unchained does have the 3rd most points in the vagina division with 3 weeks left. Remember that the top 2 teams from each division are automatically into the playoffs, and the remaining 2 teams are getting in by the most point totals that they have throughout the regular season, regardless of division. So, Jay, really everyone but the champion, naturally, has a playoff shot still at this point.
That they do. And I just want to say this to the Jimmer real quick. Rock beats titty.
Well, girls, that's it for another award-winning edition of the RZW Smackdown, this time of the Week 10 variety.
Remember, Vagina Division, the fewer zeros in your lineup, the better.
True that. Fantasy words of wisdom to live by. So until next time, ladies, keep sucking.
Fantasy,
out.
fantasy, football, fantasy, football, fantasy.
Like an end zone that ends in a waterfall.
A shower that showers you in tiny footballs.
It's a football fantasy like no other.
Like having a best friend that's your quarterback brother. Fantasy, football, fantasy, football, fantasy. If you like football, then you like fantasy.